I spend a lot of time on this channel talking about my own head. The neurodivergence, the middle school awkwardness, that constant feeling of being an underrated artist just trying to find a voice. But I've realized that the reason I'm so obsessed with the Hazbin Hotel soundtrack isn't just because the songs are awesome. It's because these songs feel like a mirror to the stuff I usually only talk about in my story times. When Angel Dust sings about being a loser, or when Vaggie struggles with the weight of her past, I don't just hear the lyrics. I hear the sound of someone trying to reconcile who they are with who they think they have to be. Today, I'm drawing some of my favorite characters, but I'm not just looking at their designs. I'm diving into the psychology of their music to see why their internal chaos feels so much like my own. Because maybe finding yourself in hell isn't that different from finding yourself in art. We're starting in the deep end, at the bottom of the barrel. Loser Baby is easily one of the most beloved tracks in the show, and it's for good reason. On the surface, it's a catchy jazz duet, but underneath, it's a psychological handshake between two people who have finally stopped lying to themselves. Angel Dust spent his entire afterlife performing. He's the star, the entertainer, the one who's fine. But Husk sees through the glitter. When they sing about being losers, they aren't insulting each other. They're stripping away the shame. They're saying, hey, I'm a mess, you're a mess. And that's the most honest thing about us. As an artist, I find so much beauty in this mess. We spend so much time trying to make our lines perfect and make our colors correct. But some of the best art, the best growth, comes from leaning into the mistakes. It's that neurodivergent struggle of feeling like you're falling to the normal way of doing things, only to realize that your loser traits are actually where your community is hiding. Husk tells Angel he doesn't need to change. He just tells him that he's not alone in the gutter. And there's a specific type of freedom that comes with that realization. When you stop trying to be fixed and start being seen, the mess starts to look a lot like a masterpiece. So, as we layer in these colors, think about your own mess. What's the part of yourself that you've been trying to hide that might actually be the bridge to finding your people? If Loser Baby is about finding your people in the wreckage, then Easy, the reprise of More Than Anything, is about that terrifying moment that you realize that people actually see you. All of you, the real you. But here's the thing about being a protector. Sometimes, the shield we build to keep our loved ones safe ends up being the wall that keeps us isolated. Vaggie's fear wasn't just that she used to be an exorcist. Her real fear was that if Charlie saw her as broken or fallen, the pedestal that she was on would crumble. And if she wasn't on that pedestal, would Charlie still want her? In the song, the vulnerability is a choice. Vaggie has to stop trying to earn her place and just exist in it. She even sings it in the song with being proud. No blow comes close to fatal for this princess and fallen angel. She's accepting it. It's that imposter syndrome that we talk about so much on this channel. It's that feeling that if people knew the real you, the neurodivergent quirks, the past mistakes, the messy bits, they'd leave. But Charlie's response to this melody is the ultimate answer to that fear. Love isn't about finding someone perfect to protect. It's about two people who are just as lost as each other and deciding that being lost together is better than being found alone. Vaggie thought being known would be her downfall, but it turns out it was the only thing that would set her free. So, what does it actually look like to visualize the soul? We started this journey in the gutter with a couple of losers who realized that being a mess is a lot less lonely when you're doing it together. Then we moved on to the quiet, terrifying space of letting someone see the fallen parts of who you are. When we look at Hazbin Hotel through this lens, we see that the soundtrack isn't just catchy, it's a map of human experience. Whether it's the loud defiance of accepting your flaws, or the soft acoustic realization that you don't just have to be perfect to be loved. These songs remind us that the soul is a static thing. It's a work in progress. Just like these paintings. Art, like so much like life, starts with a lot of messy lines and uncertain colors. But if we're brave enough to keep layering, to keep being honest with the canvas and ourselves, we end up with something truly beautiful. Something real. And that's a wrap for this video. I want to know which Hazbin song feels like it was written for your journey. And if you're comfortable sharing, what's one messy part of yourself that you've learned to embrace lately? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. Thanks for being here, for being you, and for letting me share with these souls with you today. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.